Hello, my name is Sanjay Saldi and I'm the director of the European Internet Marketing Institute and Academy in Mannheim, Germany. Many of my customers have asked me to make a video on digital marketing, especially as an introduction for digital leadership, to explain the basics that are needed in today's times to cope with all the changes on the digital markets and the change that customers are performing in the way they use products and the way they talk about products, and most importantly, how they buy products. For that, we have developed a strategy. It's called the iROI strategy, Internet Return on Invest. And this strategy integrates two worlds. It's the first part is digital transformation, and the second part is digital disruption. And to understand what we are talking about, these two worlds have a great difference. Many websites and many people are talking about transformation and disruption, but they're mixing it up, and we have to understand how it really works. Digital transformation are all the steps that are needed to make your business most effective in today's world, using everything the digital era offers you to transform your company from a maybe more analog thinking company into a digital company, and understanding what you need for that. Digital disruption is everything that is happening outside of your company. That means things and developments, new markets, new products that are developing, startup mentalities that are coming up and disrupting, attacking your business model. So there are 7 steps in the iROI strategy for digital transformation. The first and the most important is staff competency. Imagine that you as a digital leader have a great vision, a great idea, but all your staff doesn't know much or strategically enough for understanding the way of transformation and digital transformation. So the first step is we have to create a lot of competency in the staff and also a buy-in from the staff for digital transformation. Then you need a strategy, and with that strategy, it changes the ways we do business from now on till we do not know how long these ways will stay. More is to come, more technological developments are coming, but we must do the steps now to be able to cope with the changes in the future. CRM, customer relationship management, is one of the most important parts because it is about data. And all big companies like Facebook, Amazon, and Google, they exist only because they have understood that the person who owns the data and knows most about his customers is the person who is going to succeed in the future. Open innovation is a part of a mental development that not everything we develop in our company is sufficient, because sometimes we just don't see what is very near to our company just because we have too many closed innovation borders. So for that, we need open innovation models. That means we have to ask people, ask our customers, how can we improve our product? While doing so, we will really develop a mentality of customer-centric marketing and customer-centric product development. Process optimization is becoming very vital because when we are changing to digital, there are many competitors who are coming up, and the competitors are very much interested in developing new models, new processes, and using the newest and the most recent technology to make things faster, cheaper, easier accessible, and this is what customers are liking a lot. Culture and mentality means that we have to understand that digital is not just a trend or just a thing that's going to happen or is happening for some months, but it is going to really change everything and every industry. So it's time for every company to understand how digital transformation works. And of course, you need technology for that. So you will need the IT to buy in, you will need the HR to buy in for the staff competency. And then we already move to digital disruption, because digital disruption is about HR and staff. If you don't have the right people on board, you will be stuck. And every step you do will be very tiresome and very expensive. New business models will lead to changes in industries. Look at Airbnb and Uber and all these other systems. They have changed complete industries. Even Instagram has changed the way we deal with photography. And big companies like Kodak, they didn't spend enough time looking at the way new business models are arising and have nearly vanished from the markets, being market leaders earlier. Then it's of course, digital competition. Competition is coming up, and competition is coming up not only from the industry itself. So if you're concentrating on your industry and seeing your competitors, your traditional competitors, oh, they're not doing much. Okay, that's good news for you, but there is a bad news too. And the bad news is that there are other companies who are not from your industry but are financing startups or even creating own startups. You know that Amazon is developing its own taxis, Google has its Google car, and all this stuff. So even if Volkswagen is watching BMW and saying, oh, they're not doing much or they're doing well, the thing is, are we watching also the competition on the digital markets? Then, of course, digital marketing is changing and digital services are being developed, and the customer is getting more and more used to use his mobile phone, to use all these gadgets to get further in his world. One of the main parts which is responsible for companies losing customers is that they're not taking care of the digital user experience. Now, imagine you want to buy something and you go online and you're looking for a product, and then you go into the shop, and the same shop, but the analog shop in the real world, and you're talking to a salesperson, and this salesperson has access online and already knows what you have been looking for. Imagine this excitement the customer gets. And that's digital user experience. Are we taking care that the customer is being satisfied on every step of his travel? Then we need a vision. And this vision is very important for the company to develop a vision for, let's say, 2030, 2050, so that there is a way of how to deal with the changes on the disruption and transformational area. And to do that, we have to understand that these two circles are not disjunct, but they are connected. And they're connected to the vision and strategy. But for that, we need someone in the company who is responsible and doing digital leadership. So if you are in the company and you have responsibility, this video is exactly the right thing, because it will show you how to combine these both worlds. But the first thing we have to do is create competency. So for that, let's start with the agenda to take you through the new worlds. And start with the agenda. We'll be talking about online marketing, about search engine optimization, about content management. We'll be talking about all of this stuff. We'll talk about lead management. We'll be talking about targeting, web controlling, and let's start doing it. So, online marketing basics. First, we have to understand that online marketing is not only, oh, I have a website and the website is doing well, that's all. But there's a lot of other stuff running around there. So we're talking about affiliate marketing, mobile marketing. The website has to be, of course, optimized for search engines. It needs to connect with influencers, with A/B testing, conversion tracking. If these words sound strange to you, then please continue watching now, because I'll be explaining them in a very understandable way. And then after this video, you can talk with anybody about all this stuff. Okay, so let's go and set our goals to enter the whole business. So first we have to understand that now we are living in times where the target market needs a marketing mix. We're talking about product policies, online target groups, online behavior, online expectations, and online offers. So you see that maybe you know target markets from your university time, from educational time, but now we have to concentrate on everything that is happening online. The next thing is pricing. There is a way of dynamic pricing, power shopping, deal websites. So there's a new way on how to develop a pricing policy. It's not just we connecting with a retailer and defining the price, but online we have many more possibilities to utilize the ways of digital transformation in this world. So also distribution. We have not only classical e-tailers with a shop, with a real analog shop, but we have many online stores. And what we can do is we can use the data to do online research and use the data to understand more about electronic marketplaces. And of course, communication policy. Communication policy means that we have to start understanding that people use Google even as a voice support. They use other mechanisms like Google voice recognition or Amazon Echo. So what we are doing is we have to understand that these worlds are not there as a trend, but they're changing behavior. They're changing the behavior of the customers in new markets. So there's a control loop for every online marketing process. So the first thing is we have to do a situation analysis. We have to find out who is our target group. We have to define the offer. We have to do a competitive analysis. Then we have to set goals. That means we have to find out ways on how we are going to measure what we are doing online. So are we measuring customer benefits, customer loyalty, and online networking? How many contacts does our website create? Step 3 is plan and implement. So what we need is a marketing mix. We need SEO, search engine optimization. If somebody types in a keyword for your product, then it should be important that your website is in the top 10 or at least in the top 20. Otherwise, you are existing in the digital world, but you are not visible. So visibility is a very important thing. To understand that, we'll do more later on. Then you have to control everything you're doing. So you have to have key performance indicators. You have to need web analytics, and understand that we are not living in a world where the question is my business B2B or B2C? Your business, every business in the world, is a C2C business. That means people are talking about your business, even if you're in the B2B, because we have end consumers who are using your products. And if you are not listening to what your end consumers are talking about, you won't be able to optimize for the new markets, and maybe others who are in the so-called B2B business, they may be taking care of their final customer, of their end consumers, and then exciting them to buy the products with retailers or retailers anywhere. So every brand, every company is now not in the B2B or B2C, but they are in C2C business, consumer to consumer. We have to understand the power of the consumer. So one of the steps that can be done is affiliate marketing. Now, how does affiliate marketing really work? It's very easy. A vendor, if you want to sell something online, you decide to engage in affiliate marketing and set up a website. And on this website, you integrate banners, links, and somebody else who would love to sell your products but doesn't want to stock them can now create a website. A website operator places the vendor's advertising on his own website. Could be a blogger, for example. Many Amazon gets a lot of revenue from that because, for example, somebody has a hobby as a cook. So he's cooking, making videos, has a blog, writes about that, but he has no sales. So Amazon offered him an affiliate program telling him, hey, if you want, you can sell books on our website. You can sell CD, DVDs, films on our website without creating your own content. You just take a link to Amazon, and when somebody on your website, a customer, clicks on an advertising and buys something there, then the vendor measures the conversion rate, how many clicks, how many sales, and adds up to a commission. And then it gives the person who is responsible for the sale, so the website operator, he gets a commission. And in this case, it's very interesting to know that nobody's harmed in this case. So it's not that the customer has to pay more. He just pays the same price he's also paying at the vendor's shop, for example, at Amazon. The only thing is that a certain percentage goes to the website operator, here marked in red. The website operator has only one interest. He wants to get a lot of traffic on his website and then take the traffic to the vendor's website and make a purchase. And that's affiliate marketing. Affiliate marketing is that you have a shop or you want to sell products, then you are looking for website operators who are ready to put your banners, your advertising on their website, or you are yourself a website operator, and then you are looking for affiliate programs in the internet. Who is offering this stuff? And there are portals, many of them. Just type in affiliate marketing portals, and you will get a lot of, or just affiliate programs. You'll get a lot of stuff around this. Many companies like even airplane, hotel chains, book publishers, everybody who has a product and wants to sell more than just normal is doing affiliate marketing. So performance marketing is the next step, and the next step is that, of course, you have our website, you have maybe an online store, maybe an app. So planning, designing, and programming, this is just the basis. Many companies think, oh, when we have done that, that's enough. But, to have a website and nobody visiting it is it is very frustrating. So you have to do SEO, you have to do search engine optimization, sometimes or even SEA, search engine advertising. You have to pay Google. In SEA, in SEO, you're optimizing your content. Then, of course, you have to do social media marketing. That means that you have to talk about what you're doing, how you're doing, why you're doing. And of course, traditional online marketing that gives you new visitors. And just to have visitors is also not enough, because the thing is, if you have 100 visitors and 100 people, 100 visitors leave your website in 10 seconds, then you have no really new leads or new customers. You just have visitors. So conversion optimization is all the effort you do to optimize for new customers. Now, performance marketing has 4 important pillars. So the first thing is it needs a strategy. It needs a concept. It needs the definition of KPIs, channel selection, and then it generates traffic. So first we have to really define a strategy and a structure in the company. And this is what I do for many companies internationally, Europe-wide, in Germany, Holland, in Switzerland, Austria. So develop a real strategy and structure to generate traffic. And that's not enough. We also do a lot of A/B testing, social interaction, and that helps to optimize all the efforts, and we need to measure everything. So there's a ROI, iROI, and user behavior. With that, we can adjust the strategy after the first experiments to optimize it. And of course, analysis of everything, cost, benefit, landing pages, and all the stuff you need. Permission marketing is the next step. Many people have a newsletter and they don't understand that permission marketing is very, very important for newsletters, because in newsletters you can now collect data, but we shouldn't only offer one newsletter, we should offer many. Why? Because we can target the customer. We can ask the customer, hey, are you interested in topic A, B, or C? And then we have the permission to send him material to the topic. And that means if we collect data from suitable individuals, we can create marketing measures, we can select targeted individuals, send them advertising through targeted emails and to targeted individuals. That means that also our open rate of the newsletter will grow. And the only thing we need to do is then track and find out how they reacted on each of the content. So we shouldn't just, spread our word, everything to everybody, but permission marketing means we should get the permission from each of our visitor to send him relevant information. Then there's word of mouth marketing. Of course, that's called marketing buzz, word of mouth marketing. There are many definitions. Every agency tries to develop its own buzzword, a new word, so that they look a little bit different. It's very easy. It's just word of mouth marketing. You can call it what you want. The important thing that we have to understand is that we are not talking to one person anymore, but we are talking to a multiplicator, a person who is going to talk about how we talk to him. So if we are kind, if we are understanding, and we understand the problems of our customer, this customer will multiply this language and talk to others. So, in earlier days, you used to have a customer, and if he was not interested or not good to you, or you weren't good to him, it didn't really matter, because the circle of influence was just 10 people. But now, through the digitalization, it's very easy to spread a good word and to spread a bad word with some mouse clicks. So we should think about that. And when we are talking about viral marketing means that we should think about campaigns that multiply our brand message. And we shouldn't not only think about our brand, we should also think about how does this campaign help people understand who we are, what we do, and how we do it. Because this understanding, these are two ways of measuring it. It's quantitative and qualitative. And what we have to think about is the quantitative is just technical, here page views, downloads, number of clicks, visits, duration of visit. The qualitative is how many other people are connecting to the campaign. Are they writing about us? Did we choose the right channel? Did we help people to understand? And for this, we need influencers. Influencers are people who have a good name, who already have a good reputation online. And these influencers, they can promote products or services, and they have mostly many followers and many fans. And the approach is that we have to get the influencer to love our product. And it could be a free sample, it could be even monetized, it could be that we spend some money to reach an influencer and get the influencer to really multiply our message and our products. The problem is, in today's world, everybody is an influencer. At least everybody thinks he's an influencer, just because he has some followers and he can sell well. So what I would always recommend is, if you're talking about influencers, we have to do a real insight research. There are ways and methods of how to do that, and we can help you if you're looking for something like that. And the main thing is that the effect is important, just to have an influencer. There are many companies that come to me and say, oh, Sanjay, we have an influencer. We have 4 influencers. And I say, okay, but what are they really doing? Are they just influencers because they make some videos and are talking about stuff and presenting products in a ridiculous way, or are they really trustworthy? And how strong is their community really? Are they just having fun, or are there buyers in the community of the influencer? Of course, the influence on community is important because sometimes these influencers just come up and then they vanish. They come up, they vanish, because some people just think, oh, it's a good hobby, and some people do it just because they want to do something for their self-esteem. Hey, I'm an influencer, cool, cool. They get some cool likes and then it's gone. So what we need is a long-term relationship with influencers so that their influence on community can grow. And there are four things we have to take into account. Influencer marketing benefits from the reach and influence of important opinion makers and multipliers. Social media has created influencers. There are opinion makers that consumers trust. The goal of influencers and is to secure social media influencers and turn them into brand ambassadors. And influencers are people who shape public opinion. So when we deal with influencer marketing, we should deal on a very professional basis, because what happens if an influencer turns negative to us or our products or services? We have to have that under control. Influencer marketing has three characteristics. Influencers are the recommenders with an extremely high brand awareness. Influencers use social media at least once a day and reach a large number of consumers because they have relationships with them. And influencers are considered market experts. And we have to really think about, while using a influencer, if we tick off all these 3 points, because if we do not, then we'll really have trouble. Because it can be that we have the wrong influencer who is just taking money or just using the product but not giving the right impact. So we should also start measuring that. There are 3 groups of influencers. The first are the bloggers who have their own website, a blog. The other one are social media opinion leaders. They are mostly on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube, and they have a huge impact on the opinion of their community. And then we have a lot of journalists, editors, of course, of the classic influencers from the traditional world, from the analog world. And when we are doing influencer marketing, we should have a good mix of all these 3, because the multiplication of these 3 add to a great impact at the consumer. Because wherever the consumer goes, he goes into the web, he sees a blogger, he goes into social media, sees an opinion leader, or even still reads a magazine, or reads an interview, or listens to radio, or watches TV. We need journalists and editors for that. So influencer marketing is basically connected with portals, with social media networks. We have YouTube, we have Wine Camera on Twitter, we have Twitter itself, we have Pinterest. Then Snapchat is growing, and we should talk about visual storytelling for our products, especially if we have, for example, uses. The uses have to be visualized and tell a story. It's not enough today to post, oh, our product serves 2,000 uses, but what we need to do is we have to integrate visual storytelling. Instagram is perfect for pictures, reaches end users, and of course Facebook for interaction and reach. So for all this, is influencer marketing is good, but we should also be sending our own stuff on all these channels. Social media advertising means that we can use the self-booking tool of, for example, Facebook, and start advertising our posts. We can use partner applications, and we can also be in exchange and connect with other publishers and advertisers. So social media advertising is going to grow, And what you see here is, for example, how Instagram looks like, how Twitter looks like, how Pinterest looks like. Every website, every social network has its own idea, own sizes, and all this needs to be integrated into a real marketing plan just to be you must be sure that what you're doing is targeted exactly to the people who are watching it. This is YouTube. And of course, we have a lot of stuff on apps. People are using apps more and more on their mobile phone. They only use apps if there is a significant help to these apps. For example, you're traveling in a different country and you want to have a look at a restaurant. You're hungry, you want to find an Italian restaurant. Okay, what do you do is TripAdvisor. So there's the app TripAdvisor, which is on your mobile phone. And with two mouse clicks, or with two fingertips, not a mouse click anymore, with the fingertips in 2 seconds, you exactly know which is the best restaurant in around your place where you are staying or where you are at the moment. So we should be thinking about mobile banking and payments. Can we integrate that into our company process? Are we using cloud-driven apps? Is there any information that somebody may need to download, maybe a data sheet or something like that? Are we using mobile marketing? Are we tracking the people online and tracking their way through our websites? Are we doing mobile marketing and understanding what they're doing? And of course, mobile gaming. Gamification is coming up, and people love to engage with brands that take it easy with what they're selling. Instead of just selling, they make a game out of it. So we could start thinking about how to develop a game for you. And mobile marketing is really has a lot of advantages because it's really personal and it's universal. You can really connect with everybody everywhere. It's easy to track and measure for KPIs, and it has a built-in payment system. So your mobile phone is already your wallet. So think about the methods of SMS, email, video, social, mobile websites, and this interaction from advantages and methods. This is what's going to help companies disrupt their business and transform their own business into a digital company. Social media marketing is very important. I just listed here a small checklist, and you have the video. You can stop at any time and look at all these steps. It's very important for you to understand that social media marketing is not something that a student or uh, your son or daughter can do. But social media marketing is really a channel, and it has its own laws and needs to really be integrated into a strategy. Otherwise, you're just sending content and you have some fans, but you're not really assigning someone to answer questions. You're not doing a scheduled reporting. You're not assigning tasks to employees, who is responsible for what. And you should be thinking of social media marketing as a magazine you publish every day or maybe every week. So once in a week you should have a meeting with everybody in the company responsible for social media and start thinking about strategies, campaigns. These things are very important if you want to win. Otherwise, you're just sending information into the web. Remarketing. Remarketing happens very often when people visit your website and leave. So what we need to do is we have to get them back to the website. So for example, a visitor looks at products, then the visitor may add something to the shopping cart but doesn't buy. So he's gone. So when surfing further, a remarketing banner helps to remind the visitor of the product. So we are tracking where the consumer, where the website visitor is moving after our website. And then there is a banner, a link, and then the visitor returns to the website and the visitor adds the product to the shopping cart and buys it. That's the idealistic view of it. Of course, everybody knows that when somebody already puts something into the shopping cart but doesn't buy, it means that something is wrong with the shop because the motivation was there. Something happened on the way from the shopping cart to the payment section that made the visitor leave. So we should concentrate on this first step. And we do a lot of testing for web shops and help them develop a mentality of understanding that you shouldn't lose visitors who are already nearly customers. So growth hacking is a thing that we should, as a digital leader, understand. Growth hacking means that we should concentrate on growth. And what we do is that set up other networks, set up other websites, set up other landing pages, and we analyze how social media works. We should start thinking analytical so that we generate new visitors or new users. It's so important for a website that it doesn't only have recurring visitors, but new visitors. It's a KPI even to know how many new visitors are coming and how are we taking care of them. For that, you need creativity, you need the R&D department working with you, you need technology and creativity for that, because growth hacking is that what companies really need if they want to sell more. Growth hacking is also, the way to do that is very easy. You create a landing page, you start the acquisition, then you activate the people, you take care that there's enough retention, and then recommendation. For that, the landing pages can be promoted through inbound marketing or outbound marketing. That means that we can really support a landing page to become visible in the world and create traffic, visitors on that. And then we have to activate it, give the users a aha experience as quickly as possible. So, even in traditional cinema films, there is always this, the beginning, and then you get this introduction into the actors or introduction into the figures of the film. It takes time, and then comes the climax, and then it goes down. That's all old stuff. Today, the people want a quick, instant aha impact. So when you're making a video, don't wait for your video to start after 5 minutes and then there's this excitement point. Just do a boom. Remember, your customers don't have time. They want to get the aha impact in seconds, and then generate a value. So if somebody should be visiting your website, what value does he get? Does he just get information, or does he get more? Maybe an ebook, maybe information that could help him in his daily work. And then, of course, leverage the network of active users. Never forget, that's a very important point in the iROI strategy for companies. The friends of your customers are potential friends. So think about that and think about how much growth is involved there. Because if every one of them already has only, let's say, 5 friends, and from these 5, 2 are also involved in the products or need the products or services that you sell, imagine how fast you could multiply and grow your business. Think about that. That's very important. The friends of my customers are potential customers. So payment models, when we're talking about payment models, especially for digital leadership, it's important to understand the word. So cost per mil, how much does it cost to reach 1,000 people? Very often used in affiliate marketing. Then there is cost per click. How often is advertising clicked? And cost per lead. How many potential customer addresses are generated? This is, for example, for online PR or newsletter. And cost per order. How many sales can be attributed to marketing measures? So that's very easily done in affiliate marketing, because we can measure who sold how much in which time. So talking about an inbound marketing process chain, we should think about content marketing and additional push advertising. So the first thing is that the searcher has to be served with content, blogs, SEO, social media. Then he becomes a visitor. And for that, we can increase our conversion. We can learn how to optimize the conversion rate with landing page optimization. We can generate new subscribers for our newsletter. And then we start acquiring and getting interested parties. So we could start connecting them with our CRM. We could do remarketing. And from these customers, we make them our promoters. So they can use social media to talk about our products and services. Landing pages are a very important factor in today's world because if you have a website and you have many products, it gets more and more difficult to find all this stuff. So develop a landing page. It should present the offer directly and clearly, is well designed, and contains always a call to action. So for example, a registration form, a download, an ebook. That's the main definition. A landing page is a special page optimized for one product or one service and always leads to a call to action. Social media monitoring means we have to keep an eye on everything that is happening on social media. So we should collect data, adjust data, assess data, analyze data, and do the measurements in forums, blogs, and everything. That's a big part of IT. The IT can collect the data and present it in the right way. So in today's world, our customer is not just entering a store, asking for the product and leaving like it used to be, but today there is a real customer journey, a real digital touch point. So the first thing is maybe he sees an online ad, he gets some viral email, then he's aware of the brand or of the product, then he may himself do a research, reach a landing page, go to the blog and read more. How competent is the company? Goes maybe to the online shop, goes to the website, is traveling, and on his way, he's using his mobile phone to access service information because he purchased something in the online store or he got the information on the website. Then he may be asking questions. So what we need is to integrate a chat, and maybe we need a chat bot, something like a software and with the artificial intelligence to help the customer develop his service. And with loyalty, we'll get recurring visits to our blog. With our email, we stay in contact, and with our newsletter. So this is the customer journey, and in digital ways, it means that the customer is not moving on one channel. He's everywhere at every time. He needs the information, and we should be providing it as a company. Then there is user experience. User experience is what do they feel when they see our products or our marketing. So we need a content strategy. How are we going to put the information into our websites, and for what keywords do we want our website to rank in Google? So if somebody types in our keyword, it should not contain our brand name, but our products, the solution our product delivers. So what keywords do we need? And are we on the appropriate platforms? Are we only online on our website, or do we have other websites which are partners, or maybe derivates of our normal website? How is the user interface? Can he use it? Can anybody understand how it works? Are we trying to re-educate our customer, or are we fulfilling his dreams? That's user interface. Then easy to use and accessibility. Are we pulling any boundaries so that the customer feels difficult? He has to click on links 5 times to reach the information, or is it as easy as, is our search algorithm or of our search field on our website, is that perfectly done so that the experience, the user experience, is very big? Then, of course, people are talking about your company, and every company needs an online reputation management. That's also part of digital leadership. In the first week, we normally set up all the stuff you need for that. In the first 3 weeks, we develop a strategy. In the next 3 months we promote everything to create our own online reputation, and 3 to 6 months or more we improve on that. And we have found out some important things that could help. For example, it's the website, it's press work, it's blog articles, it's review and guest articles, and SEO. We have got a lot of experience on guest articles. It's unbelievable how much support guest articles get on our own websites. And so if you are interested in that, we could find out some of your customers, motivate them, educate them so that they start writing guest articles on your website or on their own blogs and become influencers, and then sooner or later brand ambassadors. So for that, there's a 8-step strategy. The first is examine the situation and stay calm, even if you find some bad things about you on the web. It doesn't matter, but still try to remove bad articles or content. Normally, a phone call could help, an email could help, or even in the worst case, you need a lawyer for that. Write and publish good and informative articles. That's step 3. So fill your blog, add images and videos, implement SEO. So understand what is SEO about. Share on social networks, monitor image development. So look how your image is growing online. Are people talking good or bad about you? And regularly repeat all steps. So it's normally a circle. You should always continue again with examining the situation and watching what's happening. Marketing automation is a very important thing in today's world, especially when we are talking about digital leadership, because that means we do not need to do everything ourselves or with our hand, but there are marketing ways, automation, to use efficiently, design and implement marketing campaigns nearly on full automatic. So first implement a campaign, then monitor customer activity, lead scoring, create targeted lists, cultivate attractive leads, analyze marketing, and select leads for customer relationship management. And then the whole circle again continues. Whenever we are talking about digital marketing, please always have in mind that we are talking about always processes that now start but never end. So these are circles you'll have to deal with. And even newsletters now have to be more than just newsletters. They have to be responsive, just like the website. So more and more recipients are watching them on a small mobile phone or on a tablet. So they should be looking well on all of these devices. Otherwise, we're just sending emails in a form of a newsletter, but not reaching the target group. And we should think about email automation. What are things where email could help us, where we have the permission of the recipient, but how could we serve him? So it could be an anniversary email, a welcome email, a birthday email, a follow-up email, reactivation email. Imagine connecting to all your customers on LinkedIn and then getting the LinkedIn data. And in LinkedIn, many have their birthday. So they have their birthday date. So send them an email on their birthday. I can tell you they'll be surprised about how much you care. The interesting part is you don't need anybody sitting there to do that. That's the job of your email automational program. So that you understand more about what I'm talking about here on email is that email is not just sending information from A to B. It's not only about sending newsletters from A to B, but you can really define processes in your email marketing strategy. I've got an example here. For example, you have a shopping cart and somebody canceled it. Then you need a follow-up action. Follow-up action could be ask him to buy again. Hey, thank you that you visited our website, but your shopping cart is not empty. Would you like to buy? Okay, then maybe he buys, then we have reached our goal. Well done. But maybe he doesn't want to buy. So we can have some reactivation measures. For example, we could make him aware of a discount. We could send him a coupon. These are things where we have to work on and develop a strategy. This is just an example. And then if there is no response, okay, then we exclude him. we are not afraid of leaving customers. The thing is, we should concentrate on those who love us, but just need a little bit of more motivation to buy. So maybe we have this reactivation measures, a discount, the link has been clicked. Did he buy or not? Okay, again, he doesn't buy. Okay, that's okay. We are fine with that. It is nothing bad for us. The thing is, we are measuring it. Or he buys and then we have reached our goal. Now look at this email automation. All this stuff can be done completely on automatic. There's no human being involved in all this process. And this is what digital leadership is about. What can be done through computers, through robots, through programming, create a great impact with the consumers and the customers, but doesn't create more work. Of course, there are these ways of single opt-in and double opt-in. The legal stuff is that, for example, in Europe, you need double opt-in, and in many other countries too. Double opt-in is just that once registered in an email list, the user receives an email and has to confirm that he really wanted it to protect against spam. QR codes. Many people think QR codes are dead. Definitely not. The thing is, if you use them in the right way, you will succeed. So you can have the smartphone using the QR code. So you have a product or you have a marketing campaign using a QR code. And when somebody makes a picture, he can scan the QR code, read the content, display actions, or even visit a website, watch a video. So, for example, on products, it would be very important to integrate QR codes for the customers who are interested in how to use it, where to use it, how to be secure against fire, where not to use it. You know, all this information could be integrated and help the consumer develop their own understanding without they phoning you and blocking your phone lines for customer care. Search engine optimization, one of the most important steps is that you have to analyze the website and optimize it so that you get unpaid results from Google. So responsive design must follow SEO first, search engine optimization, and then visual design. So whenever you are developing a new website, always keep into account that it is not important how well it is designed. You can have the most well-designed website on this planet and have a design agency promising you the most beautiful design on this planet, but if you do not sell, who will pay the agency? So always remember that your website is most important on sales. It has to create sales, or if you're not selling anything, it should at least look for bookings, or you should get the data from your customer. So it should fulfill the goal, and the goal is not created by design that is boring or even design that is immersive and very exciting, but nobody finds the page to register for your services. So keep in mind that SEO is very important, sales are very important, and of course, okay, at the end, a little bit of design should be there, but that is not the first step. Always develop your website first from SEO rules and then visual designs. And when I go to many companies and they call me to help them to do this, I'm always very surprised that they always have a design agency who does a lot of good design of the website, and those websites are not found at all at Google. And when I start discussing then with the agency and the customer in an internal circle, then I tell them what is the real thing we need, and that is SEO. We need the customer-centric website and not the design-centric website. So if you need help there, please feel free to call me. I'm love to work for you. Then we have the on-page optimization. That means we should get all the relevant keywords. We should know where to put them. This is a very important thing for the staff. So how to use images, meta description, domains. This is all relevant keywords at the right place. And then also internal linking. So can a visitor easily find the information he's looking for? or are we giving him a lot of trouble so that he needs to look around and is disrupted on his way to our final landing pages? Off-page optimization means everything that we have to do outside of our website. There are companies who think, oh, I have a website, everything is running well, wonderful, and then they are captured and shocked that that's not enough. So what we need is social signs, we need backlinks, we need all this stuff around the website, supporting the website. And to optimize the conversion, we need to really start developing funnels. So the first is advertisement, then landing pages, then the content, and at the end, the purchase. And if you do not have anything to sell, doesn't matter, just change the word purchase here through contact, through bookings, just anything that's at the end of your funnel. That should be the result of your website. So conversion optimization means that we should have a strict conversion funnel that is measured to find out from 100% from the internet if 60% come from a search engine, 30% reach our landing page, 15 get the product details, how many purchase. So in this case, in this funnel, we have a 1% purchase. That's very good because now we know that if we want to sell 10 products, we have to get 1,000 visitors from the internet. And that's a good relationship. That means that we can start measuring visitors or interested people to purchase. So there are different ways of how to measure it that you see there are different sales funnels there. They have different forms. And depending on what type of sales funnel you have, the conversion rate is different and the ordering process is done. So keep in mind that the thinner the sales funnel is, the better it is for you, because then the trust is won, he's directed well to the order, and the ordering process seems to be very user-friendly. So keep in mind that you shouldn't lose too many on the way. The customer journey from contact to product is, at first we have to get image and awareness, then give him the possibility to select in blogs, in our own blog, or maybe in the blog of an influencer, the desire to buy and then to buy. So what we do is we use A/B testing. What does that mean? A website is normally very static, and that's very boring. It's very boring because if you do not change things, you get the same results you get every day. So our experience with other companies is that when I go to the website, I start changing stuff, and I start changing small components and do A/B testing. That means that I help them to develop a website where 50% of the visitors see the blue version here and 50% of the visitors see the green one. And what I then measure is, when you have the right sale funnel and you have the right landing pages and the KPIs, then you start measuring the conversion rate. And suddenly you see, oh, with this A, you got 20%, then we should stick to that. And then there may be a next test, A/B test with a red one, and maybe the conversion rate is there 25%. So websites which are just static and never change their layout are boring and are doomed to die, because they're not experimenting and not getting the most of the juice that they could get from the website. So link building is very important because that creates visitors. There are easy ways, for example, general directories, blogs, forum profiles, critical influencers, niche directories. And the higher we get, the more difficult it gets, but the higher is the trust of Google and search engines into our website. So critical influencers and advanced social media is very important, and high authority sites. So these critical influencers, it depends on how much reach they have, how trustworthy they are already in Google. There are many ways on how to measure that. If you're interested in that, please feel free to ask. Multivariate testing for website design. As I told you, what we do is we change the web designs, and we use different combinations, we use different colors, we use different ideas, and everybody who has been following me knows that my website in the last 4 years has maybe changed 20 times and is always being optimized, optimized, optimized. If you're not ready to experiment, don't go into the web. So SEO analytics is very important. We have to find out who is visiting us, who is doing what on our web page, and for that there's a trust rank. Trust rank is something Google and other search engines measure. I know that there are portals who say it's not like that, but the thing is, Google still has its top 10 rankings, and we should keep in mind that everything we do is optimized for our top 10 ranking, because otherwise we are losing visitors not only on our website, but we are losing visitors to other competitors. And that's worse, because once they stick there, they won't buy with us. They won't buy our product. So here's an example. I mean, it's very simple. Please do not protest on that. But if anybody's interested in the real algorithm, I can also explain it in more detail. But here's just so that you, as a digital leader, you just get a view on how it works. So you have a company website, and the question is, how much is the trust ranking? Now, it's very easy that you may find a high quality website which has a trust of 8. As soon as this website links, so sets a link to another website, this trust rank is divided by 2. So even if it sends hundreds of links out, so this high quality sends out 2 links in this example only. So everybody who is linked, who has a link from the high quality website, for example, our company, gets a trust ranking of 4. Now, this high quality website also links to another website, and that website now gets a trust ranking of 4. If that website now ranks or links to us, then suddenly we get a trust ranking, and Google measures much more. It also measures, for example, this website is sending trust ranking to another website, it gets 2. If you have spam has a trust level of 0. So if somebody else is linking to you, we call them bad links, bad referrers. If they are linking to you, then you are in deep trouble, because you're getting links from bad websites. There are people who also say that it's not only 0, it's even -1. But that's just be careful that you don't have websites linking to you who are bad or are spam. So how high is the trust ranking now of the website, of the company website? Well, Google adds them and divides them by 2, and there's another algorithm in that. But in this case, it would get a trust ranking of 4, because it is also getting a little bit of spam, and that's why normally it would be 3. 4 plus 2 divided by 2. But this time it's getting a 4 because it has a high quality website. So the algorithm is a little bit more complicated. I just wanted to explain it to you in an easy way. So what we need is, and that's the important thing, we need links from websites that have a high trust rank. Then content management. We have to understand how to develop a culture for content. Culture for content means that we should have an inspiration, a vision, a willingness to fail and take risks. We should have the people on board, senior leadership, to everyone in the company, content leaders. We should develop content paid, owned, and earned. And we should start a process of evangelism and governance. We should start educating our staff regularly. So if we are talking about media, then there is this difference between earned content that must be earned. For example, editorial, public relations, people writing about you, interviews, print placements. Then there is paid content like banners, display, affiliate marketing, where you're paying for it. And owned content means corporate publishing. That means your own content. And there is social content where there is a public discussion. And the interesting part is that if we have to understand all of these four and combine them into one strategy, so that we have here between social content and owned content and dialogue. Between owned content and paid content, there's promoted content. And between earned content and paid content, there's this part native advertising. And here in the middle, that's the strategy. So we need to work on our community management, media cooperation, and that will raise our reach. The more earned content we have, the more acceptance we have, but the less content control we have. So you see, it's always moving around all these four quadrants to really develop a successful media strategy. Content marketing is also about how to develop content that attracts visitors, how to develop domain authority. That means, is the content on your website relevant for other people? And the content marketing strategy means, are you using video, infographics, public relations? Do you have research material, for example, guidelines, how to study social networks? How do you compare the products? Do you have demos, webinars? Do you have case study, forum discussions, a write-up? Do you use email, blogging, social networks for creating loyalty? These are the steps for content marketing. So when we're talking about content marketing from a digital leadership view, we're not talking about how to write a blog article, but we are talking about the strategy on in which channels which information runs best. And then we start developing the content for each channel. So a content management system, for example, WordPress, helps you to really put your complete content into into a way on how to use it for websites, smartphones, tablets, email, social networks. So if you have a good content management system like WordPress, it can even spread all your information, all your daily news, your blogging, your blog articles into all social networks completely on automatic. So you also save a lot of time here. Video marketing is growing very much. At the moment, you are watching a video and you see that you can use it on a company website, on video platforms, on social media. The thing is that people are, for a digital leadership strategy, we need text, we need pictures for search engine optimization, but most people do not read much on websites, except it's a very interesting article or something like that. But what they do is they watch videos. So create videos, create content, and it doesn't need to be very complicated. Doesn't need to be high end. If there's any agency coming up and saying, "Oh, I'll make you 5 videos for 5,000 euros," just run away, because we don't need branded videos. What we need is videos that are created on the fly. They are created quick and dirty, as I always like to say. It means that you have your mobile phone, just make it real, just make it trustworthy, just create emotional feelings instead of a high-end feeling, because a branded message is not accepted so well as an honest and direct, a real information. It doesn't mean that the quality of the quick and dirty video has to be bad. I'm not talking about that. I'm only talking about it shouldn't be so glossy that people start thinking, oh, it's a branded message. If it is real, it will go viral. Social media content. So when we are creating this content in content marketing, we should be able to also understand that every network has its own limitations. For example, Twitter has a character limit of 140. Facebook has a character limit of 206 or 63, depends on how you see that. And that's very important to know. And the social media managers should be really aware of how to present the content and how to do that. Now, we have been talking about target groups, and that's a really become old school in today's world because today we are talking about buyer personas. Now, what's the difference? One of the main differences is that a target group is always a group, and we always used to think that people are part of a group and then we can target the group. The problem is that in digital times, people have started developing their own system of collaboration. So it could be that a millionaire suddenly is in a group of poor people because he's doing some social work, and it could be that a poor man or a poor people are living on a yacht because they booked it on Airbnb. So suddenly these things like the classical status symbols don't work anymore. So I was visiting a store, and I was watching how the reaction was, and it was a very expensive designer store, and people who were there were not wearing designer clothes. They were in nearly broken jeans, torn shirts, and when I was watching them, I said, "Ah, okay, look, they don't belong to the target group, but they have a buyer persona because they've got the money to buy the stuff." So I would recommend everybody just to go to Armani and see how real millionaires look like. They don't look like, they don't have ties, they don't have suits. They come in torn jeans and they look like as if they spent the night somewhere on the road, but they have a buyer persona, and that's the difference. So who are the typical website users? That is the thing a buyer persona can answer. How can the users be visualized? What are the users' intentions? And that's important. The buyer persona goes to the intentions more than do you belong to this group. What are the users' objectives when visiting? What are the requirements of the users? And how can the website better focus on the typical user? Buyer persona is also, that's why it's so important, because sometimes you're concentrating on a target group, but it's not the target group who is paying. So sometimes it's better to concentrate on that person who is finally buying. For example, you have the normal artisan, and he works for a bigger company, but the artisan is not the person who's going to buy the stuff, but it's the CEO or the person who is responsible for the tools for the artisans. So in the normal target group, we would say, oh, artisans are our target group, but that's not the right thing. The buyer persona is who is finally going to really pay for the product. And if we have them in our buyer persona, then we know them and we can identify them and target all our marketing for that. So for example, personas are used for HR. So this is a buyer persona picture, that if somebody is looking for somebody, how old is the person, what are the career objectives, what are the goals, what problems do they have, what education do they have, what is their personality, how does the behavior work. So we are moving away from this is a target group without a face to buyer personas which really have a face. When we create buyer persona, we really think about these people. For example, this is a persona for a website visitor. How does our website visitor look like? What job title does he have? How much does he earn? What does he do in his private life? Does he speak languages? What is his purchase motivation? And what is his purchase request? And whenever we are writing an article, when we are writing anything about this stuff, we should always have the buyer personas in our mind. Otherwise, we are not optimizing our content. We are just sending out information and hoping that it falls onto fruitful lands. But it doesn't if it's not targeted to a buyer persona. Here, a persona for influencers. So when we are talking about influencers, we should make a persona. How should our influencer look like? Is he young? Is he old? Is he a sportsman? Is he a lady? How many friends does he have? In which groups does he integrate? What interests does he have? How is his working culture? Is he structured, unstructured? How is his personal effort? So if we know what we are looking for, we can find it. The biggest problem every company has is it doesn't know what it doesn't know. And that's the reason why many companies love to work with me and ask for support, because that's exactly the point. I have the global view and can look for the blank points, for the points where we could really move a company into a new level. Lead management. What does that mean? It means that we are just collecting customer data through various online marketing measures. For example, we generate traffic. We should collect all the data there. Then we attract visitors. We should measure how many are using the call to actions, how many are visiting our landing pages, and what are they doing there. And then we build leads. We collect the data, for example, in a lead scoring way, could be a download or in a newsletter, and then win customers. So are they using our offers? I've optimized the purchasing process. And the interesting part is that they can use all this stuff exactly then when they need it. So online, there's no big difference between I want it now and I want to order it now. That this process has been really swapped into instant buying. I can buy, and the delivery, if you go to Amazon, there are some products, many products now, which you can buy in 4 hours. They're delivered in 4 hours to you. Then lead nurturing funnel. So whenever we have some data, we should thank them. Thank you email. Then we should give information, free content or information, maybe even a VIP information. Then make the contact and act. That means maybe we phone, we get into contact, we start talking. That's very important for B2B and B2C. And earlier we talked about C2C. Now it's really consumer to consumer. And now it is company to consumer. We should talk to him and ask what happened and convert him. Inbound and outbound marketing creates sales and customer loyalty. And then retain. For example, new offers to newsletters and new offers in marketing and sales, maybe special seasonal offers. These are things that we should think about when we are talking about digital leadership. And then when we have the leads, we should start yeah, evaluating them and start understanding how they are, what is data and what is behavior. And data is then smart and intelligent when it's not only collecting data. Collecting data, okay, is fun, is boring. It's really boring just connecting and collecting data. What we need is intelligent data, and that is behavior, because behavior tells us something about what is going to happen next, and that's very interesting. So whenever we're talking about all this stuff, we should also think about costs. Here is an example of cost per lead. So we can measure payment methods and find out exactly how much it took to get the operator, the prospective buyers, to enter their contact information. And then we can define how much we are ready to pay per lead. Targeting. Targeting attempts to tailor advertising to the needs of each user. That means we should stop thinking about, oh, everything fits for all. So, for example, when we have the data, it would be interesting to define geo-targeting. For example, we offer certain offers, we send certain offers only to a certain region or time. We address the target group at different times, and we find out that some people need our information in the morning, some in the evening. For example, more leisure and fun is evening, and information for business could be in the morning. Content targeting. As I told you earlier, it would be nice that we start developing a culture of sending out information that each customer needs, but for what he has himself registered himself. So we should not start sending everything to everybody, but it is exactly to the right content to the right people. And demographic targeting, for example, it could be age. A 20-year-old has different needs than a 40-year-old person, and it would be interesting to optimize our advertising to the demographic ways. And then, of course, how to do that. There are methods. For example, the first is analyze the user behavior. As I told you, in earlier ages, we would have thought about, okay, we target the 20-year-old and then we focus on that. But what about a 40-year-old with the behavior of a 20-year-old? And what about a 20-year-old having the behavior of a 40-year-old? You see, buyer persona here goes further than just the cliche. Then we have to talk about retargeting so that users who already have visited our website have to be motivated to come back. Social media targeting helps to focus on social networks. It connects multiple targeting methods and identifies geographical and demographic interests. So social media could help to make our data to real intelligent data and use our data for targeting methods. And there's, of course, keyword targeting. Who is looking for what and how are they using search queries? We can measure them and we can integrate them into a digital leadership strategy. So you see here, for example, is an example on real estate. You don't only need normal keywords which are directly connected with your product, but what you need is you need contextual keyword targeting. That means that you start finding out what are the real keywords. For example, it's real estate, apartments, realtors, and then you reach the search engine results and then you can start selling. So of course, all this data is very important because it helps us not only to define where we are today. The thing is, where are our customers tomorrow? And we'll only find that out if we start doing predictive behavioral targeting. What does that mean? It analyzes the behavior, it gets information from other sources, and then it goes to a predictive personalization platform and creates a buyer persona. And with this buyer persona, we have the appropriate advertising running. So everybody, each person has its own individual advertising today. And this is the strength of digital. It was not possible in olden times, in analog times, where we used to send out print material. Now we can predict what a person will buy next. And Amazon does that at a very high level, and that's why very successful. If you buy trousers there, it will offer you a shirt fitting to the trousers because they know that the next step, 30% of everybody who buys trousers also buys a shirt. So this is very easy, what I told you now, but predictive personalization goes very far because it's not only connected with a product, it's about the behavior. Will somebody who had an accident now, how many years does it normally take till somebody buys a next car? If he had a trauma, it can take 4 to 5 years. But if we know that, then we can start selling our cars at the right time when we know that it's now time to reach our customer. Sounds scary, right? Yes, it is. The thing is, it's scary from our private life. Do I want that somebody knows about my personalized life? Do I want to know? Do I want others to know what I'm going to do next before I myself know it? This is a thing that society will have to solve someday. But for marketing, it's a new heaven. Data management platforms are growing, and you should talk to your IT about that and ask how they're doing that. Otherwise, we can help. You need to get all the data, for example, from interaction in stores, then content relationship management, your product catalog, from web analytics and the attribution model, digital signals, ad servers. All this goes into one management platform, and all the collection needs to be transformed, managed, and then that's most important. I know many companies who have collected a lot of data, have transformed it and are managing it now. Managing means is they're paying for data to be hosted on servers, but not implementing and using it. So this is the point where real digital marketing begins. It is how to get all this data into a form that we can get results to share, transfer, and improve. And what is the data telling us about the future of a company? Now, on the website level, we have to start doing web controlling. That means the online marketing process is always test, measure, analyze, and optimize. So very simple way. This is what digital leadership should enhance when it's called about online marketing, the online marketing process. These four pillars help. And web controlling is a never-ending process. So you collect data, transform data to information, then develop KPIs, analyze data again, create an online strategy, implement online, and then collect data. So you see that web controlling is not enough to say, oh, once a month I look at the statistics and I get some figures. Good web controlling. No, it's not. The thing is, web controlling always means how to create an online strategy on basis of the data and then implement the online strategy to get new data. So any company that is doing that effectively, you see them in the news, you see them on the stock exchange, they are really growing because for them, data collection is not a hobby, it's a business. Talking about some KPIs, of course, the basic KPIs, they are unique visitors, bounce rate, revenue per visit, search queries, of course, the action KPIs, number of leads, lead conversion. Then the conversion for sales is sales conversion and loyalty. How many active consumers do you have? The customer conversion and how many referrals are going back to your website. So you see, it depends. You cannot say, oh, I need just one KPI or I have 10. You need them always depending on your company. So developing these KPIs is already an important task for every business. If you're not measuring the right KPIs, you may be losing sales. These are some basic KPIs like visits, page load performance, bounce rate, unique visitors. Okay, these are very important ones and they need to be measured. And I hope that every one of you gets, as a digital leader, once a month such a report telling them how the thing is working, how the website is doing, and how the social media is doing. So web controlling is something that needs to be done on a regular basis. How many website visitors, you get the statistics, you see the traffic, which is what comes organic, what comes from referrals, how many come from email, and measuring how are your keywords doing, how is your position in Google search results, and how to optimize. And that's always the point. I know many companies who are doing all this stuff, but the thing is they are so busy doing all this stuff that they don't take time for developing a strategy. And that's exactly the point where you can separate the hard workers from the winners. It's not the hardworking people who are succeeding in the online business world. It is those who are doing it smart, who have a strategy, who are following the rules, who are developing at speed of light and are ready for transformation so that they are not suffering disruption. Because all this stuff, if you're not doing it at the moment, your competitor may be doing that or is already setting up a group of people who are interested in digitalization and they are starting disrupting your whole business. So be careful about that and keep it in mind. And I hope now that you have an overview on how everything works in the world. And of course, it's very good if you have a statistics about how the users, from where are your visitors coming, and you see it's normally a global world today. We have everything on digital marketing, basics for digital leadership. I hope that you could use this information to get a real overview on how the strategy really works and understand that Digital is not IT. IT is part of digital, but the strategy has to be developed from the digital leadership. It has to be developed from the CEO. It has to be developed with all the team, and it has to include all the staff that follows the rules of digitalization. And first, to follow, it has to understand the rules of digitalization. My name is Sanjay Soldi. I'm the director of the European Internet Marketing Institute in Mannheim, Germany. And I hope I could give you some valuable insights into digital leadership and digital marketing. And hope to hear soon from you. If you're interested, please get into contact. I'm on LinkedIn, I'm on Crossing, on Xing in German. I'm on social networks. You can find me wherever you wish or on my website, and just connect. And if you have any questions, please feel free. I would love to serve you and answer all your questions. Thank you so much. Have a nice day and be very successful in your digital environment. Thank you so much. Bye bye.